Is to learn for 7th grade how to make the Easy Drop Danishes. The recipe for the Easy Drop Danishes looks like this, okay, and it says Easy Drop Danish on there. Also, during this recipe, do not forget that the assistant cook and server need to complete the food supply list, and the head cook and manager need to do the equipment supply list, okay? So here we go. Let's get started with the recipe. The first thing that we want to do when we're making this recipe is that the assistant cook needs to get out the tray and put everything they need on the tray to go to the ingredient table. Since I already showed you last video how to go to the ingredient table and get everything, in this one, I just put the ingredients here and we're just gonna have a pretend trip to the ingredient table, okay? Let's get the plastic tray out and let's get started. While the assistant cook is getting the plastic tray and getting what they need, the head cook stays behind in the unit and gets all of the equipment out and any ingredients that are in the unit to be measured, and the dishwasher needs to fill the sink with dishwater and do those cleaning preparations. All right, so if we look on the recipe, we can clearly see that has 2 cups of original Bisquick. It has 1/4 cup butter, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2/3 cup of milk, and 1/4 cup of jelly or jam. What you want to do with your group or with your unit is realize that all of the ingredients are at the ingredient table for the biscuits except for the granulated sugar. The granulated sugar is up here in your unit in this cupboard here, okay? So we need to get all the tools that we need to measure these items. So we're going to measure out the Bisquick, we're going to need a medium-sized bowl for the Bisquick, okay? Or like a small mixing bowl like this. We're going to need a 1 cup, because it says 2 cups, so we measure the 1 cup twice. So we're going to need the 1 cup. We're going to need a spoon. Get me a spoon. We're going to need get a largest spoon. We're going to need a large spoon for scooping the Bisquick into the mixture, and we're going to need a straight edge spatula. So you want to grab a straight edge spatula from that second drawer right there. So here's this is like a really good size spoon for scooping the Bisquick. So we want to grab the straight edge spatula, and that'll be for leveling off the Bisquick. Okay, so this is everything that you need just for the Bisquick, okay? Small bowl, 1 cup, dry cup, large spoon, and the straight edge spatula. Okay, so then you need for the butter, we're using butter in this recipe. We need a sharp paring knife. It's the smallest of the sharp knives, okay? So you're gonna get your sharp knife. If you have to carry your sharp knife anywhere, make sure you have it pointed down like this and it's held close to your body. Mine already has a little butter on it because I was cutting butter just a minute ago with it, but it's okay to reuse right now. So you want to put the paring knife on your tray. All right, the next step, excuse me. So we don't need to worry about the sugar because that's in the unit for right now. And then it says 2/3 cup milk or whipping cream. So this is a dry cup because we're going to get this for the Bisquick. We need a liquid measuring cup to get the milk. So we're going to go to this cupboard. We're going to get the liquid measuring cup here. You want to check before taking the liquid measuring cup that it has a 2/3 section on the liquid measuring cup like that, okay? So we're going to need that liquid measuring cup for the milk. And then we need a 4th cup for the jelly or jam. So we're just going to get a 4th cup dry cup, and I need 1 more spoon for that. Okay, so we're going to get our 4th cup dry cup and a spoon for scooping that in there. Okay, so now we have our equipment tray ready. Okay, so make sure that when you're writing down the equipment list that you write this stuff and like know that this is for the tray. So put a box around it or a star or something so that you know these are for the tray. So you have your tray, small bowl, liquid measuring cup, 1 cup dry cup, 1/4 cup dry cup, 1 regular spoon, 1 large spoon, 1 straight edge spatula, and 1 paring knife. Now, if for whatever reason you don't have a straight edge spatula, you can use the back edge of a butter knife to level off ingredients as well, okay? So that is everything that you're gonna need on the tray. So make sure you put a line or arrow or star so that you know this is what you need for the tray, okay? So we're gonna pretend that I'm walking over to the ingredient table now, which is right here. But normally it's over there. You guys know where it is, right? You understand that I'm just pretending right now? Okay, very good. All right, so let's make sure you bring your notebook. Let's get everything we need. First, we're gonna open up the Bisquick. I usually have these already open or like cut with scissors, but right now I don't, which is annoying. What?
Is the assistant cook doing this?
The assistant cook is doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's other members that can help the assistant cook if needed. Okay. So now we're going to do our Bisquick. So we're gonna spoon in, do this over the tray so you don't make like a giant mess. You're gonna spoon in the Bisquick into the, oh, you know what? Totally forgot. Add to the equipment people. Add 1 more small bowl. Will you grab a small bowl, please? All right, so the equipment people, add 1 more small bowl in there. Okay, I totally forgot. That's for like after you level off the Bisquick, you level it into the small bowl, and then the extra you can put back in the Bisquick. Forgot that. Okay, so back to this. Now, if I was doing this in the food service industry, this method of measuring is kind of tedious. So in the food service industry, typically they'll measure everything with scales and use it by weights, okay? So in 8th grade, when we do we do a baking 8th grade lab, and we actually use food scales to do it, so it's more like the food service industry. So just so you're aware, this like works for home. Yeah, don't leave the spoon in there. But it would not work in the workplace because it just takes too long and it's really tedious. Okay, so you want to level off your Bisquick. Nice and flat, okay? Then you're going to put that in your bowl. Okay, we're going to do 1 more. Because it's 2 cups of Bisquick. We don't want to mix that up. That would be really bad, okay? Just get that over. So spoon it in, do it again. Another way to help make this faster at home is if you have large container or Tupperware, you can put the Bisquick in instead of using it out of the box. But the reason that I'm showing you it this way is so that you have lots of options to know how to do it, measure accurately, not make a huge mess. Plus, a lot of people at home, they don't put their baking ingredients in containers. They just have them like in boxes and stuff. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and level that off with the straight edge spatula, like that. Okay, 2 cups of Bisquick, and then the extra that's in the little bowl here, we're gonna put that back into the box, into the bag. And I'll have the bags open with scissors, so it'll be better. Okay. Now we don't want to leave a huge mess at the ingredient table, so make sure that you try to use a little bowl to kind of alleviate some of that mess, okay? All right, next step, or next ingredient. It says 1/4 cup butter or margarine that is softened. I typically buy butter in bulk, so you're gonna have these huge sticks instead of like the little normal sticks. And I'm gonna show you 2 different ways to measure the butter today. So the first way is easy. It's just like the little sticks. You just look at the measurements and then you just cut through the paper where you need to cut, and that's where the paring knife comes in. But I'm going to show you another way that you could do this in case you, like, let's say it's not all neat like this. Let's say the kids use the butter and now it's in chunks everywhere and you're not really sure what is what. I'm going to show you another method in case that happens, okay? So right here it says 1/4 cup. So I would just cut right through the paper at the 1/4 cup line like this. Okay. And you just cut right through the paper. Okay? And then you have your little piece of butter and you can just put that straight on your tray like that. Okay? Now let's say that I come over and there's chunks of butter everywhere and it's not neat like this. I'm going to show you another method of measuring, and this is called the liquid displacement method. The liquid displacement method can be used for any solid ingredients that you need to measure, such as peanut butter, shortening, butter, coconut oil, stuff like that, okay? So it's where it's solid, but it's sticky, and it gets everywhere, and it's difficult to measure accurately. You can also use solid, like dry cups sometimes. The problem with that is that this butter is still cold, and it's kind of hard, so it wouldn't really fit in. So it would be difficult to make it accurate. So I'm going to show you how to do the liquid displacement method. What you'll need is you'll need a liquid measuring cup. We're just going to use this one. You're going to need this liquid measuring cup right here. And what you do is you just fill the water to the 1 cup, for example, and then I would just keep adding butter until the water level rose to a 4th cup more. So what I would do is if I filled it to 1 cup of water, I would add the butter in until the water level rose to 1 1/4 cup. So I know I have 1 cup of water and a 4th cup of butter. And then you drain the water out. So that's kind of how you do the method. So I'm going to show you now how to do it just for the future in case you might need to use this. And there will be other labs where you might need to use this in class as well. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to fill this up. Make sure it's cold water. Cold water. Okay, why do I want cold water instead of using hot water, warm water? Why is cold important here? Yes.
Because it warms up faster on the stove.
If we were cooking it, but we're not. Yes.
Because the butter would melt.
The butter will melt. The butter will melt. Okay, we want to check it at eye level. I got way too much water there. All right, now we're at 1 cup, okay? So what I would do is I would take my spoon, like if this were the butter or whatever, I would take my spoon, let's imagine it's in messed up clumps everywhere. I would take my spoon, use this one because we already used it, and I would scoop the butter, like if it was in clumps everywhere, I'd scoop it by chunks, and I'd put it in, and then I would check it every so often to see if the water level rose to 1/4 cup, okay? So, and then once it rose to 1/4 cup, then I would know, okay, this is how much butter that I need. Okay, once it rose to 1/4 cup, you would take the back of your spoon, you would hold it like this and drain the water. Make sure you drained it all. And then you would have the amount of butter that you needed, okay? Now, in another lab that we do, there is a recipe that calls for 2 tablespoons of butter. And typically, by the time we get to this lab, because it's the last lab, the butter starts to get really messy and like clumpy and stuff. So I just want you to take a note really quick, just so that you remember this, that 1 ounce is equal to 2 tablespoons. Okay, 1 ounce is equal to 2 tablespoons. The reason I want you to know this is because on these liquid measuring cups, it has ounces, but it doesn't have tablespoons, right? So on this liquid measuring cup, I could fill the water up to 2 ounces, and if I'm looking for 2 tablespoons, I want to add the butter until the water rises how much? 1 ounce. I want to add the butter until it rises just 1 ounce more, and then I know, okay, right there, that's how much I need, okay? So 1 ounce is equal to 2 tablespoons. If you forget, I have charts on the bulletin board over there that can remind you. Okay, sorry, that was kind of a long segue, but I just want you to know, it's good to know lots of different methods to do one thing, because you never know what you might need to do. It's how do you problem solve, okay? All right, so we're done with the butter for now. Now let's go to the next step. The next one is the milk. We're going to need 2/3 cup of milk. It's important that you get this step right. I have kids that mess this up, and then their Danishes come out like thin pancakes, and I don't think that's what we want today. So you're going to take your liquid measuring cup. You're going to make sure you know where the 2/3 mark is, and then you're going to pour the milk in, and how are you going to know if it's at the right spot? Very good. It lines up with the line. You bend down, you check it at eye level. Do not try to go like this, because your hand is moving and it's going to move the liquid, and you're not going to know for sure if it's right. So, let's pour that